focused, going for a little bit of this jiggle with this operator, but I'm feeling so scared for him as there's no backup. He will slowly go away. Wants to make sure he has an exit plan because they've taken over mid control. So as long as he can hold on to back sight, they should have a pinch.
He's still on site.
Yeah, there's no true sentinels on the side of PRX. So Governor gonna play it safe from the Thrash. Now they've used that ultimate, tries to go for a hit. Throws a peek, just misses a little bit. Not gonna get the delay he wanted, and meanwhile the flank, it's been read by Mindfreak. He gets one, cannot quite connect onto the second, but the information is there. Siege while blocking off one side, the rest of PRX are now on the hunt. They wanna push off the flank so that they are free to focus onto it. The showstopper comes out for Jing. Gets Chip Boys, Thrash as well, ties up Cruz. Jing on the hunt, wants to get the kill. I don't know if you have time for the knife, but you will have time for the headshot, as it's a 4-1 lead for PRX.
Just, again, that's that timeout. PRX has the counter for it. The reads, Governor unfortunate with the operator, just not quite being able to find value on it, and it hurts. PRX, I mean, that wall actually does so much in blocking off a single lane. Not only that, you got Divine propped up in an advantageous angle, and also Jing with the showstopper. I mean, talk about rubbing salt into the wound.
Man, it's a good read from Talon overall in their own game plan, but at the end of the day, doesn't quite take into account some of the space that PRX might have taken, and of course, it is an FPS. You do have to win your duels. Try to stay up on the numbers, man. Crisscross trip setup, we've seen that a couple times, but it's a full commitment. Snappy from Jit Boys as well as Ban, both of them trying to lock on. Jit Boys will fire first. Now the trips still haven't been discovered just yet.
And Jing's gone as well, so I don't really see, unless like a bit of utility goes into it or something, but apart from that, PRX definitely looking for a different game plan right now. A little bit of mid presence, and they've spotted out a couple of players. Now we're going in for some of these aim duels, a little bit of a trade, and something's looking for the next one. Cruz having the sensibility to back off, wanting to play alongside Jit Boys, but something just continues to walk forward.
It's absolute bait, but something reads into it. Oh my goodness, if he had gotten that kill. But at the end of the day, Governor, with the stinger, close range, what is that? My Snappy with it. Not gonna lead to a round victory, but absolutely quick. Reminding us that he too used to be one of the best offers that we've seen out here in the Pacific region.
On a Sage, no less. Something to think about for sure, but for now, I mean, this round is truly just Talon getting a feel, getting a read for the map, putting up these roadblocks in front of PRX. Once Jing gets shut down, once something gets shut down, the rest of the team starts to lose their limbs and no longer have that space gained.
Now a full trip set up here on the A side. Talon, they have the right read for the stack. It's an immediate kill for Ban, and there is the neural theft. He wants to get the backup as he knows that something's just walking forward, but he can't lock onto the kill. The neural theft gives the pings for the rest of Talon, but they don't have full forces just yet. The flank is quick, but the main forces are not staying alive on the site. Governor and Cruz hungry for teammates, but they will not survive.
Yeah, they have the positioning and the ultimates, but 2-on-4, you might want to think about the save, especially with an operator in hand. It has just been not the greatest time, not a joyful time for Talon right now. That operator hasn't had a chance to sing yet, and then PRX, I mean, talk about changing up the pace. They just walk straight into Ben and then hang back for a while. Just how do you anticipate that?
I mean, Ban also goes for the second kill. Right decision to cut off the further backup, but couldn't line up the headshot. Mindfreak already on the hunt. They have a pretty good idea now that they have control of mid as well. Mindfreak, can he get through the first obstacle of Cruz? No, he gets shut down, and that should buy just enough time for the operator to stay alive. Fault line at the ready as well.
Smile from Cruz. Manages to secure us back. 2-5 right now, and the lead is starting to be felt. You have those ultimates though. Talon definitely has a chance at striking back. This is a team that puts in the hours. This is a team that works incredibly hard, and it would just suck if you don't see them walk away with at least a bit of a win today.
So the operator handed over to Ban. getting ready for what seems to be a showstopper play, and it looks like it's going to be all the way down mid, all the way through tiles, but he finds no targets. Can he find the next one? It's not going to land onto a kill. Meanwhile, Jing already at market. He's still stunned up, but he's staying alive.
Let's go,
now he's
JJ.
back in the fight. Cruz couldn't find the opening. Meanwhile, Ban holding true, but immediately it's only one kill for that operator. Jing's still alive. He finds his targets. They line up. Jim survives, but for not long enough. PRX winning a quick round in round 8.
He's just completely going off mayhem. Everyone trying to set up for it, but as it goes through, unfortunately, the plans do not quite work out, and PRX having the sense to actually fight back against this. The angles being held, the counter reads, a couple of shots going through, but ultimately getting control over market allows for Jing to really set up and line things up for himself.
It's a very unfortunate match so far for Talon, as we do see them getting some good reads. And again, on paper, their own plans are quite solid. But you see them missing out just a little bit on the aggression, a little bit on the confidence, a little bit on the aim, and it all starts to fall apart. And then they condition themselves to think that they cannot win in some of these situations. As something, just the absolute master of the market, holds down both angles, mind you, 180 degrees. Now with 3 sheriffs, what can Talon do? We know that some of them can be sharp shooters, but so far today, that hasn't been the story.
And not really wanting to give too much to PRX too. Something 1 point away from that Thrash. Defy 2 points away from the res. There is that Thrash now available. Just near the end of this first half. Jin Boys blocked off. No exits. He's pinned down.
Devi's here. They're waiting for Devi to creep up, but Forsaken says, sorry, spotted him. I'll pick up the kill. That's 1 more point, 3 points now towards that Rolling Thunder for Forsaken. And overall, I mean, we mentioned it in Icebox, but that fire that we saw from Talon, it's missing. A little bit too patient, a little bit too cautious, perhaps. You know, some of these rounds, the read is good, the prep is good, but the execution lacking, and then the next round follow-up after that, they go right back on their back foot. But now with rifles again and a Thrash, see what they can do.
Might even need to see timeout again, maybe not too soon, but still. Good little read with the fault line now. It completely connects onto PRX as they hang back.
So PRX is really actually the one starting to adapt to Talon, right? Recognizing that Talon's had a couple good reads. See if he can bait out the reactions, and now they see, you know, the heavy utility coming out of B. All right, now we can start to re-clear A a little bit. Haven't seen anyone push out. This time another fast push out of B, and Talon's tried this so many times to hold on the side on A with the utility while the flank comes through. You even have from the shadows this time in the form of Chip Boys Soman. Is it going to be enough? Thrash online for Surf. They just need to stay alive until Cruz and Governors arrives. Chip Boys stunned up, all 3 members still alive, and here comes the Thrash on the spike plan. Strike by time, Chip Boys swings on it, Ban is there as well! Finally, could it be the retake, but Jing slows things down. Talon, they'll have to battle through a bit further, something's still alive.
Let's go, Leah.
That's another 1v1, but Chip Boys will win out. And Talon finally the picture they've been trying to get on the board. The retake comes true.
Getting the reads right. I mean, as soon as that Thrash goes through, they can tell the game plan, trying to stay alive, and they managed to do it. The rest of the team flanking forward as well. That's definitely what they needed. You might have thought that PRX might be able to hold some of their positions, Mind Freak up on top of the boxes, for example, but that's it. Talon finally adapted to it, and now maybe a slight chance at turning around these tables.
Yeah, that's always been the biggest weakness of this composition, right? You don't have a Cypher, you don't have any true Sentinel to watch your back. You can start to punish that if you clear one side of the map early. Once again, full utility on A for a retake to buy some time. It's another set play towards mid, but this time all the way straight through. It's a full middle and the Dizzy. Something not expecting that one. Thought it might have been a tiles crunch, but I love the variation. Talon might be a step late, but they want to say that they're still in the game, trying to make it a 5-7 half. And Jin correctly recognizing, all right, if the back has been taken over, we got to push deeper into the site, create another opening. And the Sage Wall to cut off the flank this time.
Hiding inside the dark cover as well. Not watching the flank, all we got to worry about is the front, and that is where PRX might be able to take them down. But Jing peeks out. good flash, but not
Yeah,
quite
Defy.
enough to fight against Jit Boys.
Levi has the operator, he gets one, they can't follow up the slow
Resume.
orb. Yeah, it's going to be able to delay them just a bit. The
Jadi
aftershocks are
lagi.
trying to buy time, but they're already past him. Forsaken, he
Ah,
gets a trap
udah,
step,
satu.
but Jit Boys is quick on it. Now a 2v2. Devi's already set up, holding the angle,
Okay,
he gets
menang.
one. The shrouded
Menang
step actually gives time for the reposition of Devi.
Ma-
And Jit
mati,
Boys
okay.
knows the spike is ticking down. He has to run through, and Mind Freak swings out as Paper X shuts down and dashes the dreams of Talon, trying to close the gap.
And that's just so quick. Again, you mentioned it before, Paper X starting to show that they have what it takes to adapt. They have the discipline, and they're not complacent. That was what Jing mentioned in the hype trailer, that they don't want to be too complacent about their win from stage 1. And they're definitely showing that they're capable of it. The sensibility to put that barrier orb behind them instead of up front, and then having the positions along with that operator from Devi just to nail down Talon. I mean, look at this guy on the stage, on an operator, but 12 kills on top of everyone.
Yeah, fragging out to its heart's content. Divine doesn't get to do that every day on this squad of Paper X, oftentimes in a supporting position. Today, feasting with that op on the attacking half. Governor lands a nice flick onto something, shuts down a bit of that aggression, but the resurrection comes through. Can Talon hold on to this? Has to shy away from the boom bot. They have to give up the site. They'll hold on to market for the time being.
Forces it out, now a bit of utility being spent just to create a bit of that extra pressure.
Nggak ada orb.
Talon repositions into a 2-on-2 default, and against a lot of teams, this would be a good idea. But it's Paper X, and they don't have a Sentinel. They recognize that. They don't have the leisure to wrap around all the way to the other side. Talon, they wanted to push out of A main, but they're still not quite sure, so that information isn't there for their teammates, and it's a fast push! Oh my, the shorty does land, but not enough for a kill. Surf trades 1-for-1, but the spike goes down. That's the most important part. Now the Thrash trying to push through. Surf trying to create a curveball, but the Thrash wraps all the way around, and Governor doesn't have a rifle to try to follow up. Just the operator, the rolling thunder to push him back, and the flank is still too slow. Two members unseen, Mind Freak ready for it. He'll get one. And now hunting for ban. Paper X on the move. Something's coming back as well. They're all ready for it. Bang, yeah, two crispy ones, but it's just too many targets. A 9-3 half for Paper X.
Nice couple of crispy chicken wings, but then by the end of it, just still not quite able to fire on through. Good opening shot from Governor, right? Talon able to fight back, but like you mentioned, Will, a moment of hesitation and trying to pull off a bit of that flank, it takes too much time. And Paper X knows exactly where to apply that pressure. It's painful for Talon, and hopefully this halftime will give them some moment of respite to regroup and re-engage. They gotta tighten up those elephant pants there.
Now we'll see the collaboration, of course, outside of the server, but now in the server, Talon has to strike back. Paper X so far trying to please all the fans that have come out to cheer for them, the reigning champions of VCT Pacific. Sure, Gen G currently in the absolute spotlight worldwide. Paper X, they say the year's not over just yet. The most important trophy of all, awaiting all the teams around the world at Champion Seoul, and Paper X have their eyes trained on it. Trying to go for the full drive forward here in stage 2.
Definitely looking better and better. Same compositions, same stories. And that's just gonna be Paper X now back over onto the defense. This is where that Sage can, have different kinds of value as well. Meanwhile, for Talon, I mean, what are we gonna see? You need Cruz, Surf, they gotta set Governor up and they gotta go in for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full commit this time to the B side for the time being. Just trap wire to check for any forward movement out of A. Oh, frenzy for Cruz as well.
Look at Paper X too, though. Interestingly, focusing their attention over onto mid.
Just wanting to make sure that it's not going all the way deep. Again, a result of them not having something like the tripwire to cover top mid. They're pretty confident in their ability to go for a retake on either of these sites.
Udah
Using this
kelihatan
box
satu.
nice and early. Cruz has an inkling
Dua.
for it, but he doesn't commit to it, and it's
Nice.
an early drop. Something with a nice pick at the
Something.
backside
Ah,
as well. The
yeah.
Frenzy still holding on to the site. Talon intends to cause chaos, but Forsaken tries to cut down the
3-1.
numbers. Now a 2v1, but serve solo.
Abang main freak.
With the Paper X Classic. Clutches it up. Continues the lead, 7 rounds ahead of
Bangin.
Talon.
1,
bang.
2, and 3 taps. That's all he needs to clutch out the round. Mind Freak still calm and still ready to strike. I mean, Paper X, I was wondering what that positioning was all about, but you can clearly see, just trying to avoid the classic execution from Talon. He knew it was going to be that blast pack satchel combo into the site, and Paper X just avoids it.
I don't know if I've ever seen something get up for a clutch from one of his teammates. I mean, it was a great clutch, but this isn't like the craziest thing Paper X has ever done. That was an interesting interaction, but great to see them back in good spirits. We've seen this so many times ever since the offseason. Forsaken be a KO or breach. Sitting with the Outlaw, using the Sage Wall. Paper X going back to some trusty old ideas. Now the judge as well. I mean, the bait and switch is going to be perfect. The jump forward. Now the hunt past the Dizzy.
Wow.
Jinx so quick with it.
Down A.
Dizzy didn't have a chance.
It's just a little lizard. Why you gotta?
Is he a lizard? I don't know. I always thought he was an armadillo.
Armadillo.
First of all, they aren't actually animals for anyone. Yeah, they're like spirits. But Forsaken's gonna get the cleanup kill.
Kenapa dibuang?
11-3 here for Paper X. And there it is.
Ooh,
Something
something 1000
catching
kill.
right back forward. And as the desk mentioned, again, a quick reminder, something wasn't here at the beginning of VCT Pacific last year, so he has been absolutely farming these kills to catch up this quickly.
Welcome to the 1,000 kill club. I mean, you can definitely see how it all happens. The judge in hand, being able to find that double. Jing as well is just there to back him up. I mean, this is going to be a tough ride for Talon as they try to come back into the game.
Okay.
Not happening yet. Forsaken opening things up with a quick headshot.
Yeah, the Outlaws have always been so powerful in the hands of Paper X. Mind Freak, he's been very sharp
Banyak
today.
gubernur pemain.
Has his eyes
Nice.
trained on the very edge. You know that that's where they want to pick out from the smoke, but quick trades this time from Talon. Moving as a unit. The game plan always to try to hold some semblance of control in backside while the spike goes down. Paper X will respect it for the time being. Jing all alone has to wait for something, a judge in hand, but should be able to pick up a long-range weapon if he so chooses.
Masih bisa
There it
harusnya.
is, a Phantom, perfect choice.
Webbel.
Mosh pit to toss him out. There is the wingman to go for the
Okay,
defuse.
satu.
It baits out the attackers. Ban will go for the
One,
trade. Boombot
GG.
singles out one, but he knows it's a pinch now. Jing hungry to try to get it. He wants to close the gap. Goes right up against the box. And Chip Boys will stabilize. 4th round for Talon, and we do have to make clear it's not
Main
match
mahal,
point just
main
yet for Paper X. There is still some hope for Talon.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, this time just kind of delaying that push, I think. Allowing for the initial forces to push on through. They managed to create that space, but then the rest of the team to slowly fan out across just to find those trades. Once they found it, Chit Boys with the paranoia out towards Jing really counteracted Paper X's retake scenario. So 4-11 now. Paper X still fighting back up on the Outlaw, trying to make use of some long-range duels, but the stack up on A is interesting as well.
Yeah, the Thrash trying to push them back, but it does get taken out just in time. So Talon able to continue their agenda of pushing forward. However, they now recognize it's a bit of a heavier stack onto the A side than they may have wished for. Governor, is he going to have the backup on the pop flash? There is a double swing. Governor good for one.
Mendapat hot.
And they quickly still stay ahead in numbers. Meanwhile, Ban digging deep in mid, already in position. If they need, a rotate could happen, but the Thrash will clear out the site for the time being. Something waiting for a timing, and Defy up top through the Sage Wall. You can never count that out. Wingman goes by something. He wants to try to get a kill, but for now, he'll get the free spike down. The smoke is
smoke got me.
I was getting a little worried, but Surf, quick on the trigger.
Defy able to fight back, but yeah, it's just enough of a timing for Talon to really shoot back against Paper X. And with that, economy turned upside down. Talon has a chance to find the momentum.
See if they can string it together. Still a long way to go. No mistakes allowed for Talon here on Sunset. But it does seem like the players individually starting to come online just a bit. Looking a bit faster, looking a bit more confident, a bit more snappy in their movement and their aim.
Kenapa mana dia? Oh, pintu.
Especially on the attacking side, not really all too much to consider or hesitate about. Meanwhile, PRX starting to go back in for some of these duels and trades. It doesn't quite work out, especially up around this
A-nya
open
di
position.
push 5
Now
orang.
pistols. Let's just walk up front. Why
Oke,
not?
kawan.
We got the sheriff.
Ooh.
We got the firing squad. We're back in, boys. And Van unfortunately will get shut
Hopefully
down.
under
That is a rifle pickup.
Yeah, that one rifle can make a huge difference in the hands of PRX. Talon, they know where the opponents are coming from for the most part. The likely scenarios are B main and market. That's where Talon's watching. They're a bit
Oh
quicker
my
than
God.
Cruz
Oh.
imagined. He has to get ready with the aftershock. Aftershock just to buy time, going for the reposition. Now everybody, their eyes trained here. Meanwhile, keep an eye on the minimap. String goes all the way around, but
Okay.
so much
Bisa menang.
utility dumped in from PRX. Surf stays alive, isolates the fights. Now Wingman to make sure that he can still stay alive. And all through this, Governor staying focused on the site, recognizes that it's still missing out on Divide, and Governor will get the final kill, 6th round win for Talon.
Good
Staka
communication,
manis,
good
14.
trust in the teammates, and what a way for Surf to ride the wave. I mean, knowing that they were going to push up front into this B main position, he holds it down. First 2 kills, and then waiting with the wingman against Mind Freak. At the same time, like you mentioned, just looking out for where Divide could possibly approach from. This is Talon showing that they do have the teamwork to really come back into this. 3 rounds in a row now, and PRX buying back up.
If they can win this round, suddenly tying it up is right in front of their doorsteps. Big round for Talon, grouped up by Tiles, but something. An absolute wild card here in mid. He's planted in. He doesn't realize that Governor's already made a pass him. They have no idea.
Ah,
We got both. Surf, an absolute savior for Talon here in the second half.
A little bit of a fall line, but look at how fast Mindford responds instantly with the dark cover. Shuts the door in front of Surf's face. A couple of shots fired through just to deter any further aggression. Meanwhile, Jing heads up front towards Elbow, but bites the bullet. What is Forsaken gonna do now that he's alone on A?
Pushes forward, tries to close the gap a bit. Now from the shadows here to support them as well. You do still have the thrash as well for Surf. If he can stay
Kalau
alive, he
Davanya
gets the
mati,
kill, and now they know
bisa
B-side
balik
has to
B
be
dong.
clear. They notice her, the rolling thunder
Malah,
to
astaga.
a kill on Mind Freak. Forsaken setting up the team kill Goomba Stomp. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that.
Alah, malah.
Outside of game collaboration, inside of game kind of collaborating, they gave Talon their wings. They gave Van wings.
Son. Ah.
And it's just unfortunate, but what a way for Talon to really cement their win in this round. And like you mentioned, Will, this is now Talon potentially being able to even out the odds. It's right at their doorstep.
Another buy-for-buy round win for Talon. And a big part of this is Surf holding things down, being a menace. And man, just patient through all of that.
It's like, all right.
You can tell he's just waiting for his feet to land. He's constantly searching for that head. And that forces out the timeout from PRX. Fans have been wanting to see Alex and Alex's desk.
Saatnya
On camera.
marah-marah, Alex.
We get a chance. Talon, or PRX rather, smiles wiped away for now as they realize it's not going to be smooth sailing just yet.
Yeah, not entirely that simple. After the past couple of rounds, I mean, Talon has been showing their adaptations to this game as well, right? I mean, delayed pushes, finding bits and pieces of teamwork where they are able to isolate some of these duels against some of the PRX players as well. The trade's not quite happening for PRX, and the retake's not quite happening as well because they don't quite have the numbers. So 4 rounds in a row now for Talon. Let's see if they can string a couple more.
Looks like it's going to be a fast hit onto A. That way you can get the showstopper as well. It's going to be a full execute up to the doorsteps of A main. Meanwhile, Rez online for PRX, but only 2 members, so not looking to use that too early just yet. The early spike him spots both, and immediately elbow control given over to Talon.
A little bit more time now, a little bit more space. PRX Triple stack on the other side, slowly starting to move on over. Ban has an opportunity to collect on a possible kill. Not quite happening just yet.
Yeah, but Mind Freak takes this opportunity to push out mid. Ban, I don't know if he quite realizes it just yet, but he will get the kill. And now they realize mid control given over to PRX. Elbow still there as Ban's still fishing for a bit more information, but that's already 3 members you've spotted in mid. Talon has to go right now. They have an opening. They have to make it happen. Governor hesitating until his teammates are there for the backup. He does swivel and get the kill. Something, a rare whiff from him. And now Talon spread out across the map. Post-plant position online. Showstopper just to try to buy time. There's the counter, but it's after the rocket fires off. And Jing will only get the trade to even the numbers. Sage Wall online from the shadows to try to buy more time. Coming in from Chip Boys, but he's already losing teammates. There's a crack in the wall.
Nice.
The weapon's not out. Mind Freak gets the read. And PRX, a successful retake, will bring them to match point.
I mean, this was a counter in protocols. They knew what Talon's game plan was alongside that showstopper. Allowed them to sneak in, but bingo, bango, bish, bash, bosh, it's gonna be PRX with Jing in the movement to counter against Governor and that showstopper. Divine being sneaky and beaky with that barrier orb just around the other side of Elbow. He hung down and looked for that frag against Surf. A little bit unfortunate for Talon, but it is what puts PRX at match point now.
Yeah, it's the small little mechanics, small ways to use your tool set. And now that it is match point, never mind, take that back. I was gonna say, bit of a different, bit of a different soundtrack. Well, we'll have to wait to see what the issue might be. At least it doesn't seem like it's a hot pack being bursted open, so wait to see confirmation on what it is. Admin already on site. Try to resolve this here for Governor. Audio issue, taking a look at his earbuds.
It's going to take a little bit of time, but at the same time, I mean, just PRX having that many rounds in their pockets, a bit of a timeout, and it just shows, you know, Alex's timeouts continue to have that impact, right? The win rate continues to climb a little bit higher and higher.
Yeah, Talon, they've been in this position before, right? This was that map where they started to try to mount a very strong comeback in Sunset as well to try to best PRX in the playoffs in that knockout round in Stage 1. But unfortunately, lose track right near the end, the focus slipping away from them. They don't want to make that same mistake, but they've already made it way too close to a deja vu.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, Will. I mean, the way that Talon has switched up the roles from before, now back to something that they're more comfortable with, but we don't really see, you know, the same level of success, you know, against like some other games, some other teams that they've played against. Governor, not the loudest performance on the server, but meanwhile, Surf on this Gecko has been the one who's topping the kill feed. And it happens because, I don't know, he's kind of hanging back and going in for some of these trades.
Yeah, a lot of the lurks once again, right? And the trades, he's very quick uncovering for his teammates, something that we couldn't really see when he was playing that Jet on the Icebox. But now, issues resolved, we continue on to what may be the last round of the night. PRX already leading 1-0 in this match, now 1 round away from wrapping it up. Something will be denied vision up in mid. Now slow control of mid. PRX in previous rounds hunted out that lurk. Is that going to be the swing on the paint shells? No, it's going to be the fault line that's just too strong coming in from both sides, and no escape for Governor. And it's going to be the snappy shot of something dominating the mid lane of Sunset. And Surf, we praise him, coming back online here on map 2. But it's 5 members of PRX.
I am grimacing in pain off of that one. 5 on 1. 5 monsters that Surf has to battle through. One down, but can he make sure it's all 1v1s from here on out? It's just too many. There's the thrash, and it's a double, triple swing as PRX start off stage 2 strong, right where they left off here in Pacific with a 2-0 clean win. Paper Xing their way back into Pacific Stage 2. 2-0 win, showing a little bit more discipline, a little bit more cleanliness in how they want to take some of these duels, and a lot better teamwork as well. The adaptations coming back in after Alex's timeout. But Talon, I mean, just trying to find their footing still in this Pacific stage.
Yeah, it does seem like there is a bit of impact on the role reshuffle, and I'll just call it a roster shuffle as well, right? They had that 6-man rotation. They had a Sova specialist. They had someone who was helping with the secondary calling, and it does seem they're still trying to find their comfort zone, their own new color and tempo. But unfortunately for Talon, not much time left. Thankfully, they set themselves up for success after stage 1 with a nice record in the league play. So we'll see if they can continue to do it here in stage 2. But for now, PaperX continuing to just gather all the championship points, making sure that they can redeem themselves at Champion Seoul as they start off stage 2 with a very strong showing against Talon Esports.
Very coherent. You got Uncle David with that outlaw on the stage on this map of Sunset. It is PaperX, and of course the crowd favorites as everyone's starting to cheer for them once again. We'll toss it right back over onto our analyst to break down this entire series.
And it wasn't a 3-mapper as we thought it might go. PaperX not only proving why they were the champions,